Alright, get right to it. Giving all praise and glory, truth to Yahweh, by Shema Rashad, to honor to the apostle president of the great millstone. Shalom to the hope for the elect. Shalom. Not to make this too long, get right to the point. So we're gonna get right into it. Out. See, open topic. Watch the sign of. Watch the time of the sign. All right, let's get right to it.
Is there a hidden camera spying on you right now?
You won't believe it.
Are quoted as saying, Serbia and Russia have now signed an agreement. In this agreement, they will be establishing combat training centers for military personnel between the countries. This is just another escalation in a world at war between NATO and Russia. China and Saudi Arabia, according to strategists, are aggressively investing in mining corporations. As you know, mining represents what would be one of the foundations of our planet. They say that this is an unlimited form of influence, and that if China and Saudi Arabia hold the reins to all of the world's mining, then the rest of the world will be forced to catch on and play with them. The United Kingdom's prime minister has blamed the Russian president. They say that Russia has weaponized global energy supplies and that it is right now causing household bills to soar. Military leaders are sounding the alarm about a rising risk of an attack against Israel as the country faces what they are calling a worsening political crisis. The defense chiefs are seeing indications that Iran and other countries will be planning joint operations in the coming weeks against Israel. Senior IDF officers are being represented. They are warning the security cabinet that unusual things are happening. Military intelligence leaks are estimating that the danger of an armed clash with rebels or those against Israel is at its highest since the 2006 Lebanon War. Armed fighters are being spotted training on the borders of this week, and there is a rising sign of escalation. Notably, they say Hezbollah significantly has boosted its deployment along the front. They say that the group's elite forces are training for raids into Israeli territory. As tensions are continuing to increase there, they say Iran is holding high-level meetings in the discussion of a joint battle against Israel. The Iranians, they say, are coordinating their moves, and they are assessing that Israel and its military are at their weakest point in history. Now, what they see happening is that Israel and other countries will go to war on a multi-front campaign. They won't be able to fight against Iran and Hezbollah. The USA won't be able to fight against China and Russia. Australia won't be able to fight against China and maybe some other regional armies. And this is going to be what we see in our conflicts for 2023 and 2024. Now, for right now, Iran and its allies are just watching. They're planning. They're getting ready. And they say that they may decide to attack at any moment. The intelligence chiefs are warning Netanyahu that different branches of government need to be ready for unrest, for social distrust in government, and for the people to not be behind a war against Iran. Now, Netanyahu right now is convening a meeting with military leaders, and they're discussing what they call a multi-paralleled threat. The Air Force of multiple countries, the Air Forces of multiple countries are saying that enemy forces are testing Middle Eastern battlefields at this time. And they say that all allied air forces must remain alert and ready to defend regional allies in the area. The IDF, security services, and other outlets are saying that they have detected indications of an incoming imminent attack. Forces there are intensifying their preparations for what is expected to be a large-scale battle. They say that this might start in Lebanon. The Army's analysts are estimating that Hezbollah is trying to drag Israel into multiple days of fighting. Combat will spiral out of control, and it will trigger then a larger clash or a regional conflict. In the case of war, they say the IDF is expected to strike hard against its enemies from the air and from the ground. One key component that they're looking for is a massive assault that they expect to use to destroy Hezbollah's elite fighting forces. Now, the USA and Australia are working hard to deepen their military allies and ties, their agreements, after they reached a cooperative agreement that expands both military cooperation and infrastructure between the nations. They say that China's growing influence and China's territorial claims in the Western Pacific are something that must be seen as a threat to the Western world. Agreements are being announced following the meetings from the U.S. Defense Secretary and the Secretary of State, along with their Australian counterparts. These agreements are seeing increases in rotational presence of American military personnel. They will be inside of Australia. This includes the frequent use of U.S. submarine visits to the base there, more U.S. access to air bases in northern and western Australia, increased cooperation between both countries, and a speeding up of efforts for Australia to develop its own missile production capabilities. They say that in the establishment of deeper security relations, the two nations will be ready to fight the world. This is a quote. All of us have felt that the alliance has never been in better shape than it is right now. That's the Australian Deputy Prime Minister and the Defense.
All right. So in Revelation chapter 1, verse 3, it said, "Blessed he that readeth, and his word of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand." Right, for the time is at hand. Read it again, Revelation chapter 1, verse 3. It said, "Blessed he that readeth, and hear the word of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand." Revelation 22, verse 10. "And he said unto me, see not the saying of this prophecy, of this book, for the time is at hand." Read it again, Revelation 22, verse 10. "He said unto me, seal not the saying of this prophecy, of this book, for the time is at hand." Right. What else I got? Ecclesiastes 12, verse 1. Nope, I don't want to get that. Just want to get a couple points. War, verse, go. Let's go to this. Revelation chapter. No, Matthew chapter 24, verse 3. "And he sat upon a Mount Olivet. The disciples came unto him. Privately said, Tell us, what should those things be? And what should be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? And Yahweh answered and said to them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, say Mashiach, and deceive many. You shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that, be not troubled, for all those things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All this is the beginning of sorrow, right? All this is the beginning of sorrow. What else I got? Let's go to Luke chapter 21, verse 10. Well, it's not. Luke 21, verse 9. But you should hear of wars and commotion. Be not terrified, for those things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Thou said unto them, a nation shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquakes should be in diverse places, and famine and pestilence, and fearful sights and great signs should they be from heaven. Right, from heaven. What else? I think we should move to another article. Make this not too long. All right. go to 2nd chapter 8, verse 50. Didn't get it. Then that should be it. Second chapter 8, verse 52 or 50. Yeah, 2 chapter 8, verse 50 said, "For many great mysteries should be done unto them, that in the latter time should dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride." Right, they have walked in great pride. Okay, let's get. Hold on. Nope. Walk in great pride.
So breaking news, trucking firm Yellow shuts down. And this is one of America's biggest and oldest trucking companies. Operations shut down on Sunday. And the implications of this could be very widespread. Because trucking is essentially the lifeblood of this country. And if you piss off enough truckers, and, no offense to the actors and the writers, but we can live without movies, right? Like, we'll be fine. There's books, there's video games, whatever. But without trucking, we can't get food, we can't get medicine, we can't get supplies. So it struck me today. If you piss off enough critical workers, such as truckers, you can essentially destroy the country. And why are they shutting down? Let's get into the article. I'm just bringing it up right now. It's a LinkedIn article. They cut 33,000 jobs. 22,000 were members of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters Union, and it's selling its logistics business. It's trying to avoid bankruptcy. It has an outstanding debt of $1.5 billion and a strike threat. If they shut down, how are you going to get food? How many people in this? Well, everyone in the Midwest and the southern central states, I guess they can grow their own food and they have a lot of farms nearby. But the well-to-do cities like Portland, Seattle, New York City, San Francisco, what the fuck are you going to do when suddenly your Whole Foods has no food? Do you know how food grows? Do you know where your food comes from? Do you think Whole Foods grows your beef in the back? They don't. What are you going to do? A lot of these millennials have no idea what the food manufacturing pipeline and supply chain looks like. They have no idea. I lost the article again. Sorry, I'm getting heated thinking about these millennials. They received a $700 million pandemic loan, but that wasn't enough, and then they're expected to file bankruptcy soon. All I'm saying is, if you piss off enough critical people, enough critical workers in this country, there will be massive repercussions. There's a lot of strikes happening now, and a lot of them are going to start affecting us, I think, much sooner rather than later. Just
all right, just keep writing scripture. Let's go to 2 chapter 6, verse 22. 2 chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly should the sold places appear unsold, the full storehouses should suddenly be found empty. And the trumpet should give a sound which would every man hear there should be suddenly afraid, right? Should be suddenly afraid. At that time should friend fight one against another like enemies, and the earth should stand in fear. But those that dwell therein, the spring of the fountain should stand still in 3 hours. They should not run. Whoso remain from all those that have told thee shall escape and see my salvation, the end of your world. Verse 26. And that man that receives shall see it, who have not tasted death from the birth. No, I don't want to read all that. Well, from the birth, and the heart of the inhabitant shall be changed, and turn unto another mean. For evil should be put out, and deceit should be quenched. 2 chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly should the sword places appear unsold. The full storehouses should suddenly be found empty. And the trumpet shall give a sound which with every man heart hear, should be suddenly afraid. Right? Suddenly afraid. So Ezra 8, verse 50. For many great mysteries should be done unto them. They are in the latter time should dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Right? They have walked in great pride. Isaiah 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure the time diligently in itself, when you see pass of thy sign pass, which I told you before, thou shalt understand that it's the very same time within the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. Thou shalt well understand that the Most High has spoken of those things from the day that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like it's all made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Like the end is manifest. Verse 6, for even so at that time also the highest had planned the beginning and wonders and powerful works and enduring affliction and signs. And everyone that should be saved should be able to escape by his work, and by faith whereby you have believed, should be preserved from the said peril, and should see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I sanctified thee for me from the beginning. Verse 9, they should be in pitiful case, right? They should be in pitiful case, which they had abused my ways, and they had cast them away, despiteful to dwell in turmoil, right? They had cast away, they had cast them away and despised. But again, 2 9, verse 9, they should be in pitiful case, which they had abused my ways, and they had cast them away, despiteful to dwell in turmoil. For sure, like in their life, they had received benefit, had not known me. They had loosed my law, which had yet liberty, and when place of repentance was opened unto them, understood not, but despised it. Right? They understood not, but despised it. What it says, 2 9, verse 12, the same was known after death by pain. Right? The death by pain. All right, let's go to 12, verse 4. 12, verse 4. And the door should be shut in the street when the sound of the ground is low. He should rise up at the voice of the bird, and at the door of music should be brought low. Right, the door of music should be brought low. Also, they should be afraid of that which is high, and fear should be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be burdened, and the desire shall fall, because a man going to his long house in the morning and go about the street. And every silver, no, I read that. Ecclesiastes 12, verse 1, remember not the crazy day of thy youth, while the evil day come not. Well, I should say, I have no pleasure in them. Right, remember the crazy day of thy youth. Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 16. It said, I was sent upon thee the evil arrow of famine, which I shall be for thy destruction, and I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and I will break your staff of bread. Right, I will break your staff of bread. I know why you forget. Okay, yeah. Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 14. I think I got it all. Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 14. They have blown a trumpet even to make already, but none go to the battle, for my wrath is upon all the multitudes thereof. The sword without, and the pestilence, and the famine within. He that in the field shall die with the sword, but he that in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. Right, famine and pestilence shall devour him. Luke chapter 12, verse 49. Luke 12, verse 51. I suppose you that I've come to give peace on earth. I tell you nay, but rather division. Right, but rather division. Luke 12, verse 56. You hypocrite, you could discern the face of the sky, and of the earth, but how is that you do not discern this time? Right, this time. Discern this time. Let's go to Matthew 16, verse 3 and close it out. But the guy went one more time with it. Right, Matthew 16, verse 3. In the morning it will be far weather today, for the sky is red. And Lord, you hypocrite, you could discern the face of the sky, but can you not discern the signs of the time? Right, he said, can you not discern the signs of the time? All right, one more scripture, then that should be it. I forgot what I was. All right, let me see. Let's go back to Second 9, verse 5. It said Thou shalt well understand that the Most High has spoken of those things from the day that was before thee, even from the beginning. For like it's all made in the world had a beginning and the end, and the end is manifest. Right, the end is manifest. Right, the end is manifest. As you see here. Let's watch it again. Man.
So breaking news, trucking firm Yellow shuts down. And this is one of America's biggest and oldest trucking companies. Operations shut down on Sunday. And the implications of this could be very widespread. Because trucking is essentially the lifeblood of this country. And if you piss off enough truckers, and, you know, no offense to the actors and the writers, but we can live without movies, right? Like, we'll be fine. There's books, there's video games, whatever. But without trucking, we can't get food, we can't get medicine, we can't get supplies. So it like kind of it struck me today. If you piss off enough critical workers, such as truckers, you can essentially like destroy the country. And why are they shutting down? Let's get into the article. I'm just bringing it up right now. It's a LinkedIn article. They cut 33,000 jobs. 22,000 were members of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters Union, and it's selling its logistics business. It's trying to avoid bankruptcy. It has an outstanding debt of $1.5 billion and a strike threat. If they shut down, how are you going to get food? How many people in this? Well, everyone in the Midwest and like, you know, the southern central states, I guess they can grow their own food and they have a lot of farms nearby. But, you know, the well-to-do cities like Portland, Seattle, New York City, San Francisco, what the fuck are you going to do when suddenly your Whole Foods has no food? Do you know how food grows? Do you know where your food comes from? Do you think Whole Foods grows your beef in the back? They don't. What are you going to do? A lot of these millennials have no idea what the food manufacturing pipeline and supply chain looks like. They have no idea. I lost the article again. Sorry, I'm getting heated thinking about these millennials. They received a $700 million pandemic loan, but that wasn't enough, and then they're expected to file bankruptcy soon. All I'm saying is, if you piss off enough critical people, enough critical workers in this country, there will be massive repercussions. There's a lot of strikes happening now, and a lot of them are going to start affecting us, I think, much sooner rather than later. Just...
Right, the end is manifest. So I'm going to close it out right there. We're giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Shema Shah, double honor to the apostle brother of the great millstone, Shalom to the host.